Upgrades. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review brought to you from the Toronto Film Festival. This film here was anticipated just because of the subject matter of this film and the person this is on, and then the creative decision to do a documentary on one of the biggest musical names humanly possible within the last 30 years plus, and then to do it in Lego form. This one is called Piece by Piece. Here's a quick synopsis. A vibrant journey through the life of Pharrell Williams told through the lens of Lego animation, and is directed by Neville, and again, it is a documentary technically on Pharrell Williams. This is just an interesting concept to say that you're going to do a documentary and you're going to do it in Lego form. That's all this is here, people. It is a straight documentary with Lego animation, as it's told at the beginning of the film, as we see the Lego Pharrell sit down with the director and they going over exactly how he wants his documentary to go. And then we get that he wants to do it in Lego form, and then we get this amazingly vibrant type of film that's just cycling through the lives of what makes Pharrell Williams so special. As we get interviews from his parents, we get interviews from multiple music artists, Missy Elliott, Jay-Z, Pusha T, Timbaland, Teddy Riley, all of these people who played pivotal roles in the upbringing of Pharrell in the music business, how he broke through, his big breaks in it. And if you know the story of Pharrell, you kind of know, the biggest break for him came from him and Chad working with Teddy Riley and Pharrell writing lyrics to Rum Shaker, and how that took off. And then the Noriega, who's also in this film, brilliantly in this film as a Lego man, might I add that. And how the beat for Super Thug took the Neptunes to a level and brought a certain amount of success that became unprecedented in hip hop for what they did. And then pop music as it transitioned with the No Doubts and Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake's, and how all of that blew up to make Pharrell who he is. But at the crux of the story is just this little dreamer from Virginia Beach, and how he just didn't see the world the way other people saw the world. And it helps here that this film is animated, because you get to see a depiction of that through the mind of Pharrell, of what it was like to grow up, not to be like everyone else. And then you just hear these beautiful interviews done by his friends in the industry who just love the point that he's always been uniquely himself. And that's what separates Piece by Piece from a lot of other documentaries that you'll get. One, it's in Lego form. So it kind of feels like it could be something for children, but the subject matter is not necessarily for children. But again, it's a unique way, and I think a way that I think more musicians may lean into, not saying necessarily the Lego format, but just a different visual presentation of what their life is like here. And again, that's what makes this movie so good. It's because of that. And because we get to rifle through the entire story of the Neptunes, and then the branching off of the story of Pharrell, and just his perspective on some of the biggest moments in his career and how that shaped the rest of his life. Again, it's just hard because it's still a documentary. So while you're watching it, you do get trapped in a sense of thinking this is an actual film with an actual storyline and everything of that nature, because it's still in Lego form. So at times it could be a tad bit distracting to understand that there's literally no difference of watching this and possibly a music documentary on Luther Vandross, the Never Too Much documentary. It's literally the exact same thing, in a sense where it is just giving you the life story of this person. But because it's in Lego form, you're kind of thinking you're watching an actual story, an actual film. And that's not what you're actually getting with Piece by Piece. And again, that's what makes it so original. That's what makes it so interesting. So this is definitely for people who if you don't know the story of Pharrell and you come into this film kind of blind and you may know who the Neptunes are, but that's about it. I think the most beautiful aspects of it is the interviews with his parents. And when you hear him talk about the way he sees things, not even, while it's beautiful to hear what other people think about Pharrell, but his infatuation with water, which is a huge element of this film and a huge element of what makes him who he is. And down to even hearing stories with him and Chad, like of how they formed the Neptunes. Again, and that's, if you're into music, if you're into hip hop, anything, it's huge to get anything with Chad on it because Chad voices his character here. And Chad does literally nothing. You rarely, if ever, hear from him. So that was refreshing to hear here. Again, when you get the talk with the Noriegas of it and you hear the creation of Super Thug, or you hear the creation of beats in general by the Neptunes and how they feel certain things are special and they would hold on to them for the right moment. Or we get to hear the story of Pusha T and we get the connection of him and Pharrell and knowing that him, Pharrell, Missy, and Timbaland were friends since childhood. And just the way in all of Pharrell's kindness that he would help his friends over anybody else. He would help his family over anybody else. We even get to deal with certain deeper, more dark moments of his life when he was depressed because he was searching for something that he couldn't obtain. We even get to hear the fear of why he didn't drop a solo album sooner. Like, all of this is encompassed in this documentary. And I think it's great to see it in this form just because it can help distract you that you're not watching a normal musical documentary. But Pharrell's story is just so great. It's something that you can latch onto and thoroughly enjoy. And Piece by Piece is definitely that type of film. So, Piece by Piece, both of you from the Toronto Film Festival, out of a possible 10, I am going to give Piece by Piece an 8 out of 10. This is an entertaining musical documentary. That's the best way to put it. It's in Lego form. You may be able to sneak your children trick your children into watching this because it's Legos. but as you're watching it, you kind of get very quickly like, okay, this is actually a documentary. So again, I think it can open a lot of people's eyes up on how to visually do these documentaries a little different. Not everyone has to do a Lego one like Pharrell did here. This is special, but just a different way of doing these type of things to keep the audience engrossed here. Because this is definitely a film that's going to keep you engrossed. I don't know the release date. I think it releases sometime in October. I couldn't begin to tell you. I'm not 100% sure. Excuse me. Coming out of the film festival, I do believe it releases in October. But check it out when it drops. Let us know what you think. This has been another JVS movie review brought to you from the Toronto Film Festival. Peace, people.